What's good, everyone? Welcome to episode 6 of Project Tech Gaming. If we're just meeting for the first time, I'm your host for this week, Kelvin Rolone, and joining me is co-host Robert Garcia. What's going on, bud?
Hey, man. Just hanging out. Doing
you good
this,
today? I don't know, man. Yesterday you were a little.
Dude,
you had a rough time last time.
Everything, like from a technology standpoint, was just breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. My mouse broke. It just straight up just died. So, actually, don't ever get wireless mouse or mouse. I don't know, but just don't get wireless mouse. It's just not worth it. Just get a wired mouse.
Yeah, you worried me a little bit. I was like, damn, this guy, he's having a rough day.
I had a mental breakdown yesterday.
Yeah,
let's just say that.
Well,
anyhow,
as always, we have a lot to talk about today, right? So let's just jump right into it. So topic number 1, we're gonna talk about basically the Nintendo Direct, everything that we had with Nintendo Direct. Topic number 2 is going to be a class action lawsuit filed against Sony. Razer Book 13 is the closest thing yet to MacBook. And NVIDIA revives GTX 1050 to battle GPU shortage. Jaguar will be an all-electric car brand from 2025. And a shit ton of Xbox news that we're not going to get into right at this moment. But that's basically what we're going to be talking about today. But first, we're going to talk about Play of the Week. If you guys don't know what Play of the Week is where we each week the co-host chooses a game to play. The platform or genre is up to the co-host for that specific week, and we basically just give our impressions on what we played, what we liked, what we didn't like up until that point. So Rob, this is your week, Play of the Week, the Falconeer, is it?
Yeah, it was the Falconeer. I played this through Xbox Game Pass. It's developed by Thomas Sala. Type of game it is, like genre I would consider it. It's a air combat RPG.
Okay.
All right. So basically what you are is you control a falcon, like an eagle.
I'm looking at pictures right now. I'm like, it looks kind of cool. It looks cool.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's like at first, when I first was playing it, it reminded me of like Star Fox, like Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
You know? So
we had some fun time back in the day with Star Fox 64, by the way.
Yeah, so that's what it kind of reminded me of a little bit. So when the game starts, it's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. Like, it just, like, you don't know what's going on. You're just, like, this dude that's, like, riding on a falcon. You, like, get to pick your character in the beginning, like the character model. Yeah. But they're really weird looking. It's just, like, it's like a preset character model, but, like, you can't... They just look weird. Like, graphics are just weird in that game.
Okay. Is it what kind of graphic? It looks like they're like
it's like cartoony-ish. Sort of? Okay. Yeah, it's like cell shaded cartoony, I would say.
Yeah.
So okay, get past that screen. You pick your character that doesn't really mean anything, and then you just get on the Falcon.
Yeah.
And then there's like you get brought to this map, and you like each like place is a different mission. Mm-hmm. So you have like this guy like telling you what to do and like go to this part of the map, and you actually get into the game.
Okay.
So you start off, you're flying as a falcon. You have a little crosshair. Okay. You could do maneuvers like I said, like a barrel roll almost. You know, you could dash.
Okay.
First off, I will say the controls for this game are wacky.
Oh.
Like
kind of like wonky, like kind of hard, like stiffy, or
it was weird to control. Like I was just having a hard time. So first off, the controls are inverted.
Fuck that. Like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not fucking playing this game. I'm not fucking playing this game. That's it. Unsold.
So,
topic number 1. So I know.
Dude, I took that off immediately because I was like crashing to the water and I was like, what? I hate this. So I took off the controls like, all right, it's a little better now. But it was like super simple. They were like, all right, like destroy these balloons. You have like lasers on your Falcon. It's really weird.
That sounds kind of dope, but
it's
what I'm looking at right now. I see a Falcon, and he's just like you're just flying over like some land. So I don't know what that kind of ties into what you're talking about. It just
what I played. You're over the ocean. You're like on the ocean, and you're destroying ships and stuff like that. But, like, there's someone talking to you, but you don't really give a shit because there's, like, so much going on and, like, while you're flying.
Yeah.
Like, the coolest part about that game is the flying.
Okay.
But other than that, it's, like, there's other games that have done it better. Like, if you want to fly, play. Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
does it have Warhawk feels? Remember, like flying? Not even close.
No.
Bring that game back, Sony. Please bring that game back. Fucking Christ. I'm not gonna get into it. Okay. So, what I was gonna ask you a question about Falconeer. I forgot what it was. Shit. Oh, is there any co-op in this game? Is there any like can you play 2-player of any source, or like how does that?
I think there is some kind of co-op in it, but I didn't really dive that deep. Honestly, I played like 8 minutes of it to 10 minutes.
Oh my God, are you serious? 8 minutes of this? This is your play of the
done.
week?
And I was done. That's what I'm saying though. I was done. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So
all right.
Just honestly, like the graphics, like they're just weird, and like you don't really care what's going on, and like there's other games that do this kind of thing better.
Yeah.
I was just like, I have to write this one off. It's just
all right. So you don't recommend this game?
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down.
Damn.
Don't play the Falconeer.
Damn. All right.
Don't play it.
Well, if you do want to play it.
8 minutes of my life for you guys not to play that game.
Fuck. All right. Well, if you do want to play this, you also recorded. You did some gameplay recording, right, for this game?
Yes. So we'll send the YouTube link of my impression of the game.
Yep.
Down below, so you can see how it is. If you want to try it yourself, you're more than welcome to. But I did not have a good time.
Yeah, so check it out if you like. If you're interested in what Rob said, take a look at it and. Yeah. All right. Cool. So Falconeer sucks pretty much, but take a look if you want. Make sure you take a look at Rob's video and like the video and see for yourself if you like it or not. Rob, forget about Falconeer. Let's talk about Nintendo.
It's gone.
Nintendo had a busy day yesterday. Yeah. Nintendo Direct 2/17/21, right? This is their first Direct in nearly a little over a year now. It's been like close to like 500 days if you want to count, if you want to go into like nitty gritties. This is a long time for Nintendo to not have a Direct. They've had numerous, mini Directs. They've had like specific like game Directs, like Smash Directs and stuff like that. But nothing of this like caliber Nintendo Direct full-fledged, right?
So, question for you real quick before we dive into it. Dive deeper into it.
Mm-hmm.
For how long they didn't have a Direct for? Was it underwhelming for you?
Oh, you're just going right into it. All right.
Let's just get that out of the way. We're gonna go through like some of the highlights of the Direct, but in your opinion, after watching it, did you feel fulfilled, or you were like, oh, okay?
To be frank, yeah, I was disappointed for numerous reasons. One, like I was saying, this is the first Nintendo Direct in over a year, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, you would wish or you would hope Nintendo would come out with a banger, right? It's been over a year. We haven't really given enough information about what we're working on. So this is the time, especially starting 2021, right? This is the time to like really give your audience what they will be looking forward to in 2021 and possibly 2022. Did they do that? Yes and no. I mean, I think they did. So here's the thing. If you look at the list, which we will break down in a couple minutes here, it looks like there's a lot there, right? There's a lot of games that are going to be released this year and some next year. But it's mostly there's not enough quality stuff. There's a lot of quantity in there, but quality games I don't see. Right?
Why don't we run through the list for everyone and say what was introduced in that Direct? We're just gonna go through the list real quick here.
So I don't think this is in alphabetical order or like release order. It could be, but this is from Game Informer, and they just made a list here of like what they kind of a breakdown of everything that was announced. So Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, so that's gonna be coming to the Switch. Outer Wilds. Samurai Warrior 5 is coming out to the Switch. Legend of Mana, Tales of from the Borderlands, Capcom Arcade Stadium, Stubbs, the zombie and rebel without a pulse. I didn't even hear that game. Planet vs. Zombies is coming out, which is a kind of like a complete edition one, which is pretty cool. Metopia, like a me type of RPG adventure game. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, that was pretty cool. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Sega Frontier Remastered. Apex Legends, another pretty decent title there. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Probably the hypest, like quote unquote hypest part of the whole.
Yeah, 100%.
This doesn't really have anything else here, but I know they missed Splatoon 3.
Yep.
And I think that was kind of like the juice of it, right? Like that was really
that's
not
really
much.
it. Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Like how does that breakdown make you feel as far as like what did Nintendo do? Did they deliver pretty much?
Yes and no. I really did like that with everyone's kind of hoping for Breath of Wild 2
I'm
news,
sorry, before you say anything, we forgot obviously the biggest part, Smash Brothers announcement.
Oh, Super Smash Brothers, of course.
Yeah.
We'll get into that as well. But as far as like everyone feel like going into it was expecting an update on Breath of Wild 2, and we just didn't get that.
Right.
Granted, we got Skyward Sword HD, which is I'm glad they had something.
Yep.
But it still doesn't make up for like give us like a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
At least, you know what I mean? Like, give us a trailer, like, show us, like, a little bit, and then be like, oh, by the way, like, even if you say this is coming out in 2023 or something like that.
Yep.
Do that. So that way we're just like, all right, well, I guess we'll just play another Zelda game we played before. Right. So that's kind of how I feel about that.
I think they missed the mark because they had a lot of little, small, like, great games in there, but it was just covered in that 50-minute long presentation that, okay, maybe if they just had the Smash announcement on its own, right, it would have been a little bit more hyped. But they kind of threw that right in the beginning, which was fine. But by the end of
I didn't even know that was Smash.
Right. They tend to do
like,
that.
Oh, this is like some other game.
Right.
Like, you know.
And it kind of overshadows it in a sense because when they announced the Super Smash Brothers character, right, we were like, cool, whatever. We're not that hyped about it. We were kind of disappointed in that. And then 30 minutes in, I completely forgot about it. I was just like, whatever. We're just kind of going through all these things. So basically, I just wish they, and this sounds foolish, I don't know, whatever. Like we've been waiting for a Nintendo Direct, for a while, and we finally got one. But now I'm thinking maybe they could have broken this Nintendo Direct down into a little bit smaller and condensed it a little bit more. So if they announced Legend of Zelda HD Skyward Sword with Smash Brothers, with Ninja Gaiden, with Splatoon 3, and they kind of kept that as their own direct, like just kind of picked those games up and moved it into another direct. Meanwhile, keeping this direct and putting just like the smaller tidbit games that were kind of cool in its own way, but I just felt like it wasn't consistent when it comes to really like announcing these games.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of like all over the place. Like they were like
exactly, it was all over the place. Exactly,
this game. You know what I mean? So it's just like, oh, I forgot what game that I just saw. Like,
yeah, again, they had good things. Again, if we forgot, they announced Super Mario or Mario Golf as well.
That was really cool.
That was that's good for a lot of players. A lot of Nintendo fans love that. So again, a lot of good things here. It just wasn't for, at least for me and for you and I, right? I don't think any of the games really spoke to us in that sense.
I would say the three for us is obviously Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Real quick too, one thing that was like a pain point for people playing that game is the controls.
Right.
So it was back on the Wii. You had to use the Wii controls to actually swing your sword, and it was kind of annoying. I remember playing it on Wii and I was like, I hate this. I wish I could just use a regular controller to play.
For sure.
They actually made it so that you can play with the regular controls now. You can actually use like actual button inputs and stuff like that. So that was awesome. I think a lot of people are going to play that game.
I'm definitely going to check it out because I never played it. And one of the reasons were because of the control system. So I was like, I'm going to pass that. So this time, at least we have that option to play with the Switch controls. So I'm all for it. I'll try it out.
Fun fact for you real quick too. A lot of the elements from Skyward Sword went into Breath of the Wild. For example, like the stamina meter.
Yep.
that was in Skyward Sword first.
Yep.
The parachute thing that was in Skyward Sword. So definitely, and it's like the one, like the original, like how the Master Sword came to be. So
they definitely also they also blueballed us with the not announcement the announcement of not announcing Breath of the Wild 2, which was kind of like.
That's why everyone's watching.
Kind of fucked. I was like, all right, cool. The guy, like, like we're gonna actually get some an announcement from Breath of the Wild 2, and then they're like, no, we're not ready to kind of show anything about Breath of the Wild.
E3 will show it.
Yeah, later this year they said, so we'll see. Yeah. Overall, kind of disappointed. I hope that I was just hoping that Nintendo Direct would be a staple moving forward of like what is to come. Like what is to come from now till 2022, and they kind of did that sort of, but again they just kind of threw in a bunch of other games that it just kind of brought the whole entire Direct down.
So what about, we'll leave the Direct alone, but how do you feel about the new Smash character?
So we didn't even announce her name. So then her name is, so she's from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right? She is. It's kind of like a dual wielding kind of character. Like, so 2 characters in one, which is kind of cool. Pyra and Mithra. How do I feel about her? I don't know anything about her. I've never really played Xenoblade, so I'm not quite sure how she plays or what to expect. But more female characters, I'm down. I love you know me, Rob. I love playing as female characters. So females, sure. So I'm all for it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I'll check her out. Check them out.
I think she'll be a good addition, but hype edition, definitely not.
Oh no, that's the thing. Nintendo has set a standard with Smash Brothers that you expect the next character to be hype as hell. When you start off with Joker, a third-party character, kind of more associated with Sony, that brings a hype that you can't really top anymore,
Do you think they were like with Sephiroth? They were like, the hype level was like all the way here. We got to bring it down a little bit. We got to bring it down for the next character. Do you think that's what happened?
I mean, it kind of fluctuates. We had Joker, and then we had Banjo at some point. Like it just kind of fluctuated with Min. It brought it way down for me.
Violet, yeah.
There's just a lot of like highs and lows with the announcements, and we're at the low in my opinion right now. I'm sure other people are super excited for this character, right? But how many more do we need left? We need like 2 more left or something like that.
2 or 3 more left.
So
exactly.
I'm really hoping that Sora is the last one, and I don't give a fuck like what anybody says. Sora will be in Smash at some point, but that's a topic That's a conversation, right? for another day. So, but yeah. It's all right. We'll see how she plays. I think she's coming out in March, if I heard correctly. We'll see. We'll see how she is. On to the topic number 2. Class action lawsuit filed against Sony. So this kind of piggybacks from last episode with Sony getting some allegations with the DualSense having drifting issues with the controller. So now we're on to the next step where actual lawsuit has been filed. So this is from IGN, and it says, quote, a U.S. law firm has filed a class action lawsuit against Sony, alleging that the PS5 DualSense controller is defective due to drift, and that Sony was aware of the problems without disclosing it. The suit calls Sony's conduct fraudulent and deceptive, unlawful, and unfair. The complaint describes the PS5's DualSense controller as defective, as it contains a defect that results in characters or gameplay moving onto the screen without user command or manual operations of the joystick. Known popularly as controller drift, further the complaints I can't read today. That Sony has at all relevant times been aware of the problems with drift through online consumer complaints made by consumers directly to it, and through its own pre-releasing testings. Sorry, I just had a mini stroke there. So, this is not much to really talk about. I thought my last episode, I really thought this was just really not that big of a deal because I didn't know how many people were being affected by this, and in my circle, I don't really hear it too often. I have a PS5, but I don't have that issue myself either. So I just thought it was just a few people that were just kind of complaining on the internet, but this seems to be a little bit more serious than I thought. What do you think?
Do you think it's something to do with the manufacturer as far as like So the Xbox 360 had this problem. The Nintendo Switches have this problem, the Joy-Cons. Do you think it's like the specific manufacturer where they're getting like the joysticks or like the materials for that's causing this issue? Because it's a common thing
throughout the controllers.
With joysticks. And it's not just aimed towards one. It's not just aimed towards Sony or Xbox. It's all of them. All of them have it. So it's just like, is there a specific person that they're going through where it just?
It could be. I mean, who knows? Honestly, it's just one of those things that it's kind of bound to happen at some point, I feel like. But in this particular instance, it's happening way too early. I think with Nintendo and their issues with the Joy-Con, that happened a little bit later on in Switch's life, if I'm not mistaken. But this, I mean, we're still pretty early on in PS5's life, and to have this issue right now, that's kind of alarming, right?
Yeah, I just think, like, again, when something like that happens, when they have like all these little, like, just a little tiny little issue like that, they have to go back to their assembly line and like do a overhaul. It's not just like a little simple thing. It's like there's something obviously messed up with their assembly line that's causing that issue to happen.
Yeah, and not only that, but that's gonna spend, some money.
A lot of money.
It's gonna cost money, and it's just gonna. I wouldn't say it's gonna hinder their manufacturing, but it's definitely gonna kind of be a little nuisance to them because it's something that they have to fix. And
because they can't ship PS5s like that.
Right,
they can't ship them with the faulty controllers.
Exactly. So it sucks. I hope it doesn't really get bigger than it really is. I hope Sony kind of nips it in the butt real quick, and hopefully this doesn't happen to many other people. I mean,
what happens if it happens to you? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna be pissed.
Do you have one? Do you have one or two?
I have two.
Okay,
controllers.
all right. There you go.
But regardless, they're pretty. They're $60 or something like that. So I don't want to spend money on another controller if I don't need to. But yeah, I have two controllers, so I should be fine. But yeah, it's just a little update on the Sony class action lawsuit there. So interesting. We'll see how it goes. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Don't have to worry about me. I don't have any PS5 controllers. So
speaking of not having PS5 controllers, we also don't have laptops. Topic number 3: the Razer Book 13 is the closest thing yet to a MacBook, and NVIDIA revives GTX 1050 to battle GPU shortages. So let's first start off with the Razer Book 13, which is the closest to a MacBook, right? So this is Razer's answer to Apple in a sense, right? They kind of want to. They're trying to kind of grab that audience, right?
They're trying to market to a different audience. I feel
for sure.
Like they're trying to get away from being like super gamer and for the gamers. They want more people to adopt Razer.
So they're more casual audience, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of more towards the hardcore gamer, right? If you buy a laptop, if you buy a Razer, you're buying a Razer to play like pretty souped up games. You want to play games that are pretty high intensity in graphics and whatnot. So
they're beautiful laptops. I've had a Razer Blade Stealth back a couple of years ago, and it was a great laptop. Like the materials are awesome, and I really can't say anything bad. I mean, I would probably say the worst thing about it was the battery life, but it's what do you expect from a gaming laptop? It's not going to have good battery life.
For sure.
So
yeah, and so when we say that they're trying to get a little bit closer to Apple's territory, we mean like the look of the Razer Book 13 is very similar to a MacBook, right? It has like that.
You
white,
got the all
sleek
aluminum. Finish and stuff like that. So
it looks good. And again, if you kind of at a quick glance, you'll think it's an Apple machine, an Apple product, right?
Can you get pricing for it? Is that going to be? Do you know the pricing for the Razer Book, or we don't know that yet?
I could find it real quick.
Yeah, because I would like to know, like, comparatively, what it's going. Okay, so it looks like I just pulled it up. $1,600.
Yep, $1,600. But that's the souped
13-inch.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is really that souped up. I guess it is. It has a.
Well, here's the thing. Let's go over some of the specs on this.
Yeah.
So this is from Gizmodo.com. So I'm just gonna read a little paragraph here. You can read the rest of it on their website there. It was a similar story in the Handbrake video editing benchmark. So they're talking about kind of like what makes this the Razer Book 13 like what are the good specs about it pretty much. The Razer Book 13 took 15 minutes and 32 seconds to convert a 4K video to 1080p compared to a 17 minutes and 24 seconds from the XPS 13, which I think is Dell. The Razer Book 13 isn't designed for gaming, and it doesn't come with an option to add a discrete GPU like you get on the Razer Blade Stealth, which I think you said you had. But the Razer Book 13 is more than capable of handling general productivity tasks and some light video editing. Still, the GTX 1050 Ti will give buyers a cheaper option for That's that?
No,
that's the second topic.
Thing.
My bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So right there, that doesn't appeal to me because I want. We're both in the market for a laptop, but I want one that kind of does it all. One for video editing and two to play games, right?
Yeah, I think if you're spending $1,600, you should be able to do some. It should be able to handle at least some gaming. You know, like try because that's a lot of money to spend on a laptop.
The fact that it doesn't have a great GPU, just like they're really trying to get Apple's market there, right? Because they don't even like their graphics card for this laptop isn't really anything special. So they're trying to definitely cater to like, you know, the casual audience for this.
Oh, good luck trying to get that from Apple.
Yeah, good luck with that. But I don't know. I think it's an overall pretty sleek laptop. And if you don't do any video editing, if you just kind of want a laptop for just for the shits of it, then it's not bad.
You want a pretty laptop that it's an
Why
ultrabook,
not?
like
Yeah.
like, and you don't want it, and you want a Windows machine,
Right.
Do it, you know.
Yep.
But if not, then don't get it.
Yeah. So a couple tidbits here. So the battery life averages 8 hours and 25 minutes, averaging compared to XPS 13, which is 10 hours and 9 minutes, and Apple's M1 MacBook Air, which is 14 minutes and 2 seconds. So, 14 hours and 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't beat the MacBooks.
Yeah.
But again, it's a little easier for Apple because they run their own OS. So
for sure.
And the chips too, that they're doing their own chips now and stuff like that. So they have a closed ecosystem to where they can kind of control that, and that's why they get that crazy battery life.
Yep. It also includes 2 USB-C ports with Thunderbolt, USB-A port, a micro SD card reader, and an HDMI port. So it has everything you need, pretty much, which is cool. It also has a touch. Say that again, sorry.
I said it has more ports than the MacBook. So.
Yeah, for sure. It also has a touch and non-touch screen full HD display along with a high-res 4K touchscreen. That's pretty dope. It's kind of more towards like the tablet side of things now, right? So it kind of does both, which MacBooks don't have a touchscreen.
I've had a touchscreen laptop, and
what'd you think?
The Stealth was touchscreen, and it's to have it on a laptop.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. It's not. It's if anything, it's just gonna drain the battery life more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To just have that feature. So I rather. It's just a gimmick. I feel like it's not like if you want a tablet, just get a tablet. Yeah. You know.
And that's where I want to get at. So we're both in the market for a laptop. More so for me, or for me at least, in my opinion, I wanted to kind of do video editing as well as minor games here and there. I'm not trying to play games like that too much on mine, but mostly for me, it's for work, or not work, but like, you know, video editing for podcasts, for this, like stuff like that. So I mean, I'm looking at some laptops, but if you guys have any recommendations, like let us know in the comments below. Let Rob know too, because he's also interested. But yeah, this is kind of like where we're at with kind of finding a laptop. So when it comes to laptops and tablets, like we're more leaning towards the laptop part of it, right? We don't really want a tablet, because I was looking at the Surface for a little bit, and you kind of talked me out of it a little bit because I wanted it, but then I'm like, yeah, well, if I'm gonna get something like this, it's gonna cost this much. I might as well have it so that I can also play games if I wanted to, right?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to play games on that Surface. I'm telling you right now. Any tablet, it's going to be. So you're better off just getting a laptop, honestly. Just,
yeah, for sure.
Do your research, and you'll find the right one.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. Topic number 4. Jaguar will be an all-electric car brand from 2025. This is from TheVerge.com. Little paragraph here. Quote, UK automaker Jaguar Land Rover says its Jaguar luxury brand will be all-electric by 2025. Meanwhile, its Land Rover brand will release its first all-electric vehicle in 2024, the first of 6 fully electric model planned for release over the next 5 years. JLR's transition will be funded by a 2.5 billion euros, which is around 3.5 billion US dollars a year investment into electrifications and related technologies. And that's from Bloomberg reports. So what do you think, Rob? You think we're gonna more companies are gonna just go all electric at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, gas. I feel like it's just gonna be, especially with like, look at California with the regulations that they're putting in now. It's like they want all electric cars by 2030. I think 2030 or 2035. I don't know which 2035. One it was.
If I'm not mistaken.
It's a little ambitious to 9 years to
for sure
to go all fully. See, I don't. That's the thing I'm kind of like confused about. It's like, do they want all cars on the road to be electric cars? Because it's not going to work.
No.
I think it's just all manufacturers to all have an electric car lineup.
Exactly. Yes. Yep. And then it'll start phasing out, similar to like standard cars. It's cool. It's exciting. I think it's gonna take a while, and I think moving from an all electric vehicle, they're still gonna have its hurdles, right? I mean, I think the biggest issues with electric cars just comes with the battery, right? Not all of the electric cars that we have currently now have like the best battery to kind of compensate for how much driving that you do with them. So it's gonna take manufacturers a while to kind of get everything situated. And
I think the limitation too is the charging, right? The charging itself.
The battery. Yeah,
like
exactly.
If you're doing long distance driving,
for sure,
you have to wait in the car for 20-30 minutes to get your battery to choose. I mean, I know they have the fast chargers now and stuff like that, and I know it will eventually get there.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just like we got to wait till literally. Whereas you pump gas and you're out there 5 minutes.
Yep. So then go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just once we hit that where like you charge your car and it takes like 5 minutes to charge your car. Right. Then we're good.
Yep. So then my question to you is, what do you think needs to be improved in a technology standpoint for electric cars to gain more popularity, and not just consumers but also in corporations as well? So like, what needs to change? I think we kind of dabbled a little bit about it. I think the battery needs to kind of have not an overhaul, but it needs to improve as far as like how much it charges and how fast it charges as well, for people to kind of gain more interest in it. Because as of right now, those are some of my issues with electric cars, not knowing too much about them as like a car head or anything like that, but knowing that electricity runs like it's gonna eventually run out. It's gonna take it a long time to charge it. It's gonna lead into some issues if you're driving like further distance. So what do you think?
I think electric cars, as far as pricing, it needs to come down for people to adopt it, because right now Tesla Model 3, which is their base model, it's like $35,000,
right?
Which it's a lot of money for a car. I mean, what about the people that want to buy a $20,000 electric car, or $22,000 electric car? So it's just like they need to start getting these models that are a little less expensive for the more everyday person. That's when you start getting that. I think that's what Tesla's trying to do, is they're trying to get to that point. But when you get to that point, you start losing quality.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that. So.
And I mean, I think people have to buy more all electric cars for it to kind of reduce in price, right? The more people buy it, the more it kind of reduces in price, and it's just going to take time, I think, right? I think it's just going to be one of those things where you'll start seeing things, parts for these all electric cars become cheaper over the years, and it's not going to cost as much. So it's going to kind of help reduce the price for these builds, and it'll help, ordinary consumers kind of start purchasing cars like this.
Do you think your first electric car will be a Jaguar? Or sorry, a Jaguar?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just gonna be. I think I told you this episode 2. It's gonna be a Tesla.
Yeah,
Tesla. My bad.
Tesla.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
What about the new Ford Mustang Mach-E? You see it yet?
No, I didn't see it yet.
It's like an SUV Mustang electric car thing. It's really weird. You should take a look at it when you get a chance.
Hang on, let me see. Ford Mustang
Maki.
Oh, I see it, Maki. Oh. All right. I dig it.
It's expensive though. It's like 60 grand, I think, or something like around that.
It says 42. It says 42 grand.
Oh, for starting.
SRP,
Okay. I think the model I was looking at is 60. But like I said, like these things need to come down in order.
Yeah, you're not gonna get any consumers anytime soon with that. But again, it's just gonna take time, and it's just gonna take more of these more of these gasless cars, electric cars on the road for it to kind of reduce in price. Enough about cars, Rob. Let's talk about topic number 5. A shit ton of Xbox news. All right, strap in. We have a lot to talk about. So this also comes from The Verge and Xbox.com. We'll start with Xbox Cloud service. So basically,
XCloud is what it's called, right?
XCloud, yes.
Yeah.
So employees are testing web versions of XCloud ahead of public preview. So this is just going to be like their own web browser for XCloud services, which is kind of cool. It allows
why don't you explain XCloud to people in case they don't know what XCloud actually is?
So the best way I can explain XCloud is a better version of Stadia. Right? I mean, it's you're going to be able to play games from any device using what's known as the cloud service. So as long as you have a device and as long as you have internet access, a decent, steady internet access, you'll be able to play any of these games that support this cloud service on any device and on the go, on your phone, on your tablet, on your on your PC if you wanted to. And you're streaming these games from a cloud service or a service that Microsoft is providing. And it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be the future, right? I think this is something that everyone's leaning towards. And Stadia had a great opportunity to do that, but they fucked it up. So, right? I mean, they did. So...
No, they fucked it up because like it was expensive, and then it's like they didn't really have that many games. And you got to pay for each game. It's just like what?
Yeah,
no,
we talked about it. And
I want Netflix for games. That's what I want.
Exactly, and that's what Xbox is doing, and I think that's why they swept Stadia. Like Stadia knew, Google knew. They were like, yeah, we can't compete with these with Microsoft because they're purchasing studios like Bethesda, and they're doing this like Netflix service that we can't compete with. So yeah, Xbox is doing the right thing. So let's just keep moving on. So it allows access to their games through a browser, which I said before, and opens xCloud to work on devices like iPhones and iPads. It's not clear yet what resolution Microsoft will be providing for streaming. So 4K streaming may not be supported until the back-end hardware is upgraded to Xbox Series X components until hopefully this year. Planning to bundle the web version of xCloud into PC version of the Xbox app on Windows 10, and planning a public preview this spring. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Hopefully, as of right now, there's people that already have their hands on it, just kind of testing it out, and I've heard nothing but great things about it. So, good on Microsoft for that.
Interesting. I wish I could play the. Was it the beta testing basically for it?
Yeah, exactly.
I did try like the Luna, the Amazon Luna thing.
Yeah, how was that?
Which is similar.
That's Amazon's kind of service, right?
Yeah, it was Amazon service. It was cool. It was very similar. Like you download it onto your device. Yeah. And then I was able to log on and play on my Chrome browser.
Okay.
Right? I played Metro 2033.
Okay.
On it. And it was fine, but the controls was bad. The latency.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be an issue for all these games.
It was so laggy, and I was like, I can't. It's unplayable now at this point because it's like there's such a delay. So that's my 2 cents with like the cloud service thing. Like you got to make sure if you have like a controller or your input.
Yep.
I even tried it with like my mouse and keyboard as well. Mm-hmm. Same thing. It was just the latency. It was there. So they got to remove that in order for people to adopt that.
It's one of those things where they have to fine tune it as they go. It's not going to be perfect right off the bat, but if you can, for the average Joe, if you can play, any game, like the game that you were playing, Metro, or or like a new Super Lucky Tales game, like if you can just play that game from start to finish without any like huge spikes, if it's a little delayed, it affects me and you because we're more kind of like in tune with those things. But for a 15-year-old kid that just wants to play games on his phone, for little Johnny boy there, like he's perfectly fine with this. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Microsoft has so well right now. If they just continue improving it from here on out, I think it's just gonna blow up. Yeah. It's gonna take off for sure. Another thing that they added, or they will be adding, is frames per second boost for backwards damn, I'm having strokes left and right now.
FPS. Please don't have a stroke, please.
I'm trying not to, but I don't know. I think it's just this light that's in my eyes right now. Frames per second boost for backwards compatible games. So this is from Xbox.com's site itself. Quote, "We're excited to announce the first assortment of backwards compatible titles that will support FPS Boost, available beginning today," which was a couple days ago here. Far Cry 4, New Super Lucky Tales, Sniper Elite 4, UFC 4, and Watch Dogs 2. We chose this initial collection of titles not only because they are popular among fans, but to highlight several different ways that FPS Boost can improve your experience. For example, the new Super Lucky Tales can now run up to 120 frames per second, and UFC 4 delivers improved frame rates performance specifically on Xbox Series S, and now run at 60 frames per second. That's fucking nuts.
I'm gonna pause you for a sec.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like that game. I like the name of that game, Super Lucky Tales.
Super Lucky Tales.
I don't know why. Super Lucky Tales.
You ever played it?
I'm gonna try it out. Have you?
No, but I've seen plenty of it. It looks cool.
What is it about? Just real quick.
I don't know what it's about, but it's like a action adventure game sort of, and you're just like it's like a platformer. You're just you're a fox.
I'll check it out.
Jumping around and shit. Yeah. So more titles will take advantage of this FPS boost in the upcoming months, and then starting in spring, you can go into the managed games section of the title and toggle FPS boost on or off. It's also going to be available for. Yeah, I mean, maybe some people might not, because I think if you turn on FPS, it might hinder your resolution, or it might hinder your HD, like the quality of the game. So if you turn it off, it might kind of improve a little bit your resolution. Also available on Game Pass games, obviously.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was a given though. You know what I mean? So this is cool. This is something that they didn't need to do, but here they are fucking checking off their list like, hey, we're fucking doing shit here.
That's kind of like what they're doing, like what Sony was doing for God of War, right?
Yeah.
It gave you like it's like boosted it basically.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But this seems cool. like this is some type of package that they're doing for all their games. Like Sony's just kind of doing it left and right for some games that they feel like is necessary, but this is like something that they're just really putting a lot of resource and times to a lot of their backward compatible games. It's pretty cool. So the next thing here is changes to Xbox accessibility guidelines. So I thought this was really interesting. I'm going to read a little bit again from Xbox. Over the past year, developers have expressed enthusiasm for the XAG, which is Xbox Accessibility Guidelines, but also asked for additional context and clarification as to how to ensure these guidelines are properly implemented in their games. Additionally, there have been a clear desire for more content that helps the developer understand where to start or how to focus efforts. Finally, there have been requests to help understand the impact that XAGs will have on the gaming experience of players and disabilities. So some of the tidbits that they had, some of the improvements: improve overview, which gives developers contextual information on the impact of having Xbox accessibility guidelines. Improve language, improves literature for developers to better understand the context and understand terms, and removing overlay technical terms. Implementation of guidelines clarifies and gives numerous examples to give developers real-world examples. So this is pretty cool. What do you think about this, Rob?
I think it's like gets rid of like the legal jargon. It's just like, okay, like this is what this is about in layman's terms, which you don't want to read through all that crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like everyone skips through that crap anyway. But if you make it readable, people are more likely to read it.
Yeah. Well, if you really dig into this too, this is also fantastic for people with disability, because with this guideline implemented, and it makes it easier for developers to kind of put in these implementations in their games, you're able to have people who are disabled with loss of sight or anything like that, that they're able to kind of have a better experience when playing Xbox games, and I think that's fantastic. I think Last of Us Part 2 did a fantastic job. They had over 60 different types of quality of life changes in their game that helped a lot of the disability issues that a lot of the people had, in prior games.
Good
so
on
I think
Naughty
that's
Dog for
fantastic.
doing that.
Yeah, for
Seriously.
sure. So this is just another way that Xbox is winning. Honestly, they're always kind of a step ahead, and I like that this generation. They're always making moves to not just help, gamers in general, but trying to have as many people. I mean, again, that's their whole strategy this generation, is to have as many people play not just their console but their ecosystem. They want people to be in that Xbox ecosystem, and the best way to do it is to provide as much context and information for everybody to kind of come into their ecosystem. So you're going to help people who have disabilities. You're going to help people who, they can't afford an Xbox, $500 Xbox, so you can just play Game Pass for, what is it, $15, and you're playing Xbox games. Like, there's a little bit of everything for somebody, and I think they're fucking crushing it. All right, last one for today. So this is still part of Xbox. Again, Xbox is fucking crushing it right now.
Big news, yeah, huge.
So
news
there's a new Xbox wireless headset. So check that. I don't know if you checked the link out or not, but check it out. What do you think about the headset first off, Rob?
I'm clicking on the link right now to see what it looks like. Okay, that's pretty cool. It actually kind of reminds me of like it's more like streamlined and like sleek and like not like super outlandish. I like the green around the ear cups and stuff like that.
And the ear cups are like the knobs, so you can turn the ear cups for it, and it's like its own knob, which is pretty cool. So it comes out March 16th of this year for $99.99. It has 15 hours of battery life. 30 minutes of charging provides about 4 hours of battery life, and recharges fully in 3 hours when not in use.
Not bad.
Pretty cool. Not bad. It's a USB-C charging cable, 14 inches long. Cool. Volume dial, like I said before, so the whole
this thing moves.
Exactly. Yep. And supports spatial sound technology like Windows Sonic, Dolby Atmos, and DTS headphones. Compatible with Xbox Accessories app, helps fine-tune audio controls such as equalizer settings, bass boost, and auto mute sensitivities, etc., etc. You can check out the website and kind of see all the information that it has, but pretty cool. I think it's a nice little addition for Xbox. It's I don't know. I don't think I've ever had an Xbox headset. Do they have one?
Yeah, they do. It's a little older now.
It is, right?
People say good things about them.
Yeah.
I've had I know my buddy Caleb. He has one. He said it was pretty good.
Okay.
It's not the best headset. It's not the worst headset. Right in the middle of the pack. So I'm interested to see how this one does.
All right. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, they're doing all the right things, and I think that this is a nice little. It's $100 too. It's not bad. I think it kind of competes with Sony's Pulse headsets as well, because they're also $100.
Yeah, they needed like some kind of.
They needed headset. Something else to kind of equate to what Sony has too. So that's pretty good. Yeah, well, this is it. So, everyone, thank you again for joining us on today's episode of Project Tech Gaming. New episodes of Project Tech Gaming are available every Thursdays on major podcast services. We also post videos of our podcast on YouTube at Project Tech Gaming, as well as a bunch of other content that we also post. So check that out. If you enjoyed the podcast, hit that like button, hit that share and subscribe button. Let us know what you think on YouTube. There's, you could just put a comment at the bottom on YouTube there. And finally, just give us a follow on Twitter at Project Tech G as well. We would really appreciate that. As always, Rob, great conversations. It was great talking to you again. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
We'll see you guys. Peace out. Bye.